Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is Pamela Marie Edmunds, and this is Love Never Dies radio show, broadcasting to you wherever you may be from Sedona, Arizona. Placed with red rocks. Red rocks, high energy, spectacular. If you haven't been to Sedona and you're walking a spiritual path, meaning you're listening to this show and you have interest in it, please put it on your bucket list, really. And we have, I will admit, it does get warm out here at times. It hasn't been up to 100 in a while, but today we just got blessed here in most of Arizona with some wonderful monsoons. Monsoons, people are saying, okay, they were spectacular. We really needed it. So welcome, everyone. And I am Pamela Marie Edmunds. I've been doing radio now since, oh gosh, this is 2021, probably 20 years. And I'm on the air, I'm off the air. It's kind of like take a break. And I do want to say, for those of you who are listening, I am going to be taking a break after this show here. And would everybody please make sure you're muted? I'm hearing some background noise, and I'm going to mute if I can myself from this end. Yeah, because it comes right into everybody. So, okay, great. That's much better. I am a evidential medium, an animal communicator, a Trance Channel, radio show host, teacher, list goes on. And for you, if you're looking for me, find me on my website through PamelaMarieEdmunds.com. And I do have a wonderful YouTube channel. And those of you who are present here with us tonight, yes, this is being recorded and it will be on the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel basically is then identified by my name, Pamela Marie Edmunds. Okay. And I know there's, oh gosh, there's over 40 episodes from this radio show. We've been doing this that long, okay? There's also channelings because Spirit has been opening me up. Part of my healing I've been going through, been opening me up to receive from numerous beings, archangels, ascended masters, highly spiritual beings. The list goes on. I believe there's a list right now of about 25 beings, and they're available for me to do a channel for you. If there's someone that resonates with you, let me know. All their names are listed on my website, but I also have at least one, and I'm going to be adding more to it, channel from each one of them, okay? Like, for example, anybody here who's seeking to be an more empowered woman, Mary Magdalene is coming through. And isn't that an awesome treat? Okay. How many people are going through maybe something in a motherly energy? Mother Mary, the Divine Mother. The list goes on. So anyway, wanted to share that. So tonight I have with us a wonderful guest, and I'm going to say she's an old friend. Yes. I'm originally from Massachusetts, and our guest, Leslie Sampson, and I were doing development circles with a wonderful teacher, mentor, Reverend Rita Strauss-Berkowitz. And she's a mental medium, but she is also a spirit artist. So details about spirit was of great importance, okay? So I moved out here, been out here 5 years and 5+ years now in Arizona, and Leslie moved to Tennessee. Can you say hi to Leslie? Let me get your voice in there.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
sweetheart. Good, good. So how long have you been in Tennessee, dear?
I've been here almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years next week, actually.
Okay.
My father passed away, so I moved down here after he passed.
Yeah, and that's where you originated from. Is that correct?
Well, it's where my family is. I actually grew up in Illinois.
Oh,
But
okay. That sounds like another story. Sounds like another story. I'm
totally.
going to read your biography here so people know a little bit about you. Tonight's show is titled Find Your Twin Flame. So we're going to talk, and that's related to your book. I mean, I've got it written down here. Hang on. Your book is Find Your Twin Flame. Understand and connect to your soul's other half.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Thank
So
you.
great. So I'm going to read your bio. My name is Leslie. I'm a certified psychic medium, a certified spiritual life coach, and a writer. My lifelong passion for writing began at the age of 7. I wrote my first story about my rather large, overstuffed teddy bear. Love that. I hold a BA in English from the University of Kentucky. Most of my work has previously been published under my pen name, and that's KJ Hamilton.
Yeah.
My current passion is writing about metaphysics. Okay. Her role is to be a vessel through which loved ones on the other side make a connection. Her mission is to help others, not just with connecting to those on the other side, but also learning about their own gifts. Learning about the power within is life-changing. Leslie's latest book, Find Your Twin Flame, Understand and Connect to Your Soul's Other Half, is due out in October 2021. It's not quite out yet. It is the culmination of nearly 20 years of research about twin flames. Awesome.
Yes.
Leslie,
Mhm.
normally I wouldn't put twin flames on a show about Love Never Dies. Well, I could have, but usually my thoughts are I'm wanting to seek the people who are working between the worlds. Can you
Exactly.
talk a little about that? How that relates to the story here? Give your story and put the answers to that in there. Okay?
Well, I can actually answer that question by sharing just a little bit of my own story. I discovered when I first started on my spiritual path, there was a particular person in spirit who kind of jump-started me and got the ball rolling. And through all of my classes and research and all the work I was doing, I slowly started to learn how to bring out my gifts. And in so doing, I learned that this person, this soul, the one who brought me to all of this, is actually my twin flame. And I actually learned that from my archangel guidance, which I never would have thought had I not done all this, work and research and learning. So that's how it's relevant. It never stops. Doesn't matter if your twin is here on Earth, if they're on the other side, if they live on Mars, in another galaxy, on another planet. It doesn't matter. That connection, that just divinity never ends. It never does. You know how they always say the soul is energy, and energy doesn't die, it just changes form.
Now,
True.
yeah, go ahead.
It's the same thing. I mean, that divine love that is at the core of the twin flame relationship, I mean, it's so hard to put an earthly label on it because it's so far beyond anything that we can actually define. But the one thing is divine, and it's never ending.
Okay.
Period.
Why is it important that we know who our twin flame is?
Well, it's important to know because you are both on a parallel path. You are both learning. You might be learning in different ways, but you're both learning the same lessons because you're trying to evolve the soul. And it's not that, your twin is one part of a soul. You're each a complete soul within yourself because God created you.
Right.
But you have the same soul DNA. You have the same spiritual blueprint. And so you both have sort of, I guess, the same agenda, the same lessons to learn that evolve the soul. And the purpose of that, the purpose of evolving the soul is to enlighten the world. Because everything you learn, you share, just like I'm sharing with you now. Eventually someone else will see this and go, oh, and maybe they'll share it with someone else, et cetera, because every single person has the power to affect change, even if it's on a small level to start with. So that is actually the whole purpose. It's very similar, I mean, to the purpose of a light worker. It's what we do. We share that knowledge, we share that love, we share that divinity, because at the core, we're all one. We're all one soul.
Awesome. So your story started with you meeting your soul, your twin flame, soul twin. There's a couple other terms that are used,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it did. Yes, I didn't know it at the time. I didn't have it in my consciousness, I should say. My soul knew it, but my brain was like, what is that about? Who are you? You know, like, and it came in at a time when I was on a very low level and very lost. And I had no idea what path to take, what steps to take, whatever. And finally, this soul came in and he was like, scared me to death at first because even though I've been a medium my whole life, it wasn't something that I regularly practiced outside of my dream state. And because it wasn't, it was taboo. It was an off-topic subject in my environment. So to have somebody come in and completely shake up my world to the point where I just like, okay, I need to do something about this. I need to learn why me? Why are you visiting me? And to that end, that's how I can say that when I found out he was my twin flame, it made sense, because the twin flame relationship originates in chaos. Because when you become aware and start to become knowledgeable of the connection on whatever level, things start to change. And not just artificially, permanent. Like, it's like it took my world and turned it upside down, inside out, topsy-turvy. I went from someone who excelled at being invisible, excelled at it, to someone who's on a radio show, on a program, talking with folks. I'm sure I know you, Pamela, and I know some other people that were going to come tonight, but for the most part, folks I don't even know, telling them something very personal about myself. That's the transformation. That is, undeniable proof, as far as I'm concerned, that, love never dies. Period.
Right. How were you finally convinced? What convinced you? What was the ultimate to convince you that this gentleman was your twin flame? And I'm sure you had to research it your own to find out what that meant for you.
Well, yeah, I did. The thing was, when I started researching, there were 1,001 different things on the internet that gave 5,000 different opinions about it. Everybody has their own opinion about it. And I said to my guidance, to my spiritual team, my happy little team of groovy people over there, I said, okay, this is my twin flame. Prove it to me.
Good. That sounds like you, dear. That sounds like you.
So then they started pushing me to things like class, trans class, and things like, learning about the Akashic records and things about past life regression and different kinds of courses, astrology, numerology. And every single time I took this class, part of my intention was, of course, I was going to learn about it, but part of my intention was, okay, they're going to use this somehow I'm going to use this to disprove this twin flame gig. I got this. I'm cool. I never could. every single time Spirit said, oh, look at this, here you go, try this, and then come back and see what we have to say. And every single time, without fail, Spirit said, we've proven it to you. I was the one that was resistant. And my final, wow, I will never forget this. The final, here you go, here's your proof, was, again, I was a little down and out and just about ready to chuck all of my stuff out the window. And I went to an event with a medium, Roland Comtois. You know him, right? Roland?
Roland's from New England area. I'm not sure which town right now.
Yeah, and he has this thing called Purple Papers.
Okay, you want to explain what the purple papers were for people? Because that's kind of a neat concept. Yeah.
The purple papers are actually literally messages that he pre-channels and sometimes live channels from Spirit, messages that are for folks in the room. Or so I think now he's doing it for folks who are online, or he's doing it in a newsletter like that. But these are there can be anything in the message, whether it's drawings or words or pictures or whatever. It's from Spirit directly. He channels that through onto this big, large purple paper. And I went to this event, and there was a paper that sounded a lot like my twin, who I nicknamed Chico. That's what I call him.
Okay.
And I said, God, that sounds so much like him. And I went up and I said, because there was another person that recognized it too. And I asked if he could divine a little bit more information from that. Not giving him any information, but could you go back to Spirit and maybe reconnect and see if you could help us? And it turned out it was for me because he channeled a second message on the back of it in Chico's handwriting, which was absolutely jaw-droppingly amazing for me. And that convinced me, because it said, I have it on the wall, I'm reading it to you. It says, you are the other part of me, and now live your life.
Wow. Had you seen his handwriting at that point?
At that point, I'd only seen his signature.
Okay.
I only recently found out it was his handwriting, but it still floored me. The signature floored me. So yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing. So
wow.
I went, okay. So basically he was telling me, yes, you're my other half. Stop trying to prove it.
Awesome. Now, your book, let me get the title here now. Find Your Twin Flame.
Mm-hmm.
What's the rest of the part of it, please?
I stopped there because I can't have it so long.
Okay. But all right.
Understand and connect with the other half of your soul is what it is.
But I love that. I love that because it really, it puts the definition of a twin flame in there. So people comprehend what that means. So it is due out in October, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If there are people here listening tonight, is there pre-orders being taken by anyone?
You can get it. You can actually get it through my publisher, Llewellyn. You can also get it on Amazon. And another place I always check is Walmart, and I freaked out because you can get my book on Walmart.com too. So I was pretty excited about that.
Right. And for people, if they want, because I like to put this out, if they want to contact you to get a reading, to maybe talk about twin flames or something, how can they connect with you there?
Best way is through my website, lesliesampson.com. I don't have a whole lot of in-person readings yet. I'm just starting to get that back up after being off. But other than that, yeah, that's the best way to hit me up.
Now, you started talking about you being guided to various classes. And I do have an understanding a bit about what's in your book. And could you explain to people how that relates to your book?
Well, it started off with mediumship, because that was the first sort of I'm going to call it class, but it was really more just like a circle, like a development circle that I sat in. And I sat it in Rita's circle for many years, along with other folks as well. And that allowed me to not only, help, facilitate readings for other folks, but also receive. And, whether it was in circle or even sometimes in church service, because, it was attached to the spiritualist church. I would receive a message, and not every time, but almost every time it was a message from Chico or about Chico. So I even had one time a guide come through, which is not usual when it comes to, messages.
Right.
But my master guide came through and was like, okay, this is me, here I am at, stop asking this question. And even then I was still skeptical. So Spirit was telling me directly through every message, every class, every method they could. And then I remember that I started learning about other things like numerology, astrology. I also learned about different forms of divination, which I talk about in the book. I talk about there is a positive side to pendulums and spirit boards. And I do talk about that. I know a lot of people are kind of leery when it comes to spirit boards, but you can actually, if used properly, you can divine some good information from them. My twin doesn't like spirit boards, but
You're
he
talking
laughs
like
at them.
a Ouija board. And by
Yeah,
the way,
yeah.
I know some people don't acknowledge them. I want to say I had a very, very positive experience with an Ouija board. And it was phenomenal. What I want to say is, long as you put out prayer and intention on what you want to receive. People who were getting the dark energies and the wrong and the horrible responses were not doing any prayer. They had no clue. So that makes a big difference. So
Yeah.
So Leslie, your book is full of all these different types of modalities.
Mhm.
And they're there for people to use.
Yes.
To help them. Go ahead, help them find their, if their twin flame is in their life.
Yes, I actually break down how you can use numerology and how you can use astrology, and actually how, if you decide to go in and speak with either a psychic or a medium, how to go into that, how to be open, how to sit with a medium, how to sit with a psychic, what's the difference, what you're looking for. If you, I think there are about 15 or 20 different kinds maybe of modalities that I mention in the book and break down for you and tell you, okay, here's my theory. Here's what I tested. Here's how I tested it. Here's how you can do it. And then also my, just to make things so easy, after you go through all of that, there's also something called the Twin Flame Journey that Chico wrote. I didn't write it. I just channeled it from him. That actually the whole point and purpose is to show you, because previous to this, I actually even show you how to learn about your twin flame through the Akashic records. So after the Akashic record chapter comes the Twin Flame Journey, and he actually shows you how twin flames are always connected. They're always connected, it's sort of like an umbilical cord, but it's from your heart chakra.
That's interesting.
Yeah, people are always trying to find them, and I know that's the name of my book, Find. But people are always, find them. I need to find my twin. I need where, but what people don't realize is you never really have to look. You just kind of have to pull on that little heartstring there, and it draws your twin closer.
I personally believe that we're all doing some tremendous changes in this life. People going to past lives, clearing those. The list goes on in the way of us connecting closer to the light, close to God, Creator, whatever term you want to say. And that part of that journey is knowing who your twin flame is.
Yes.
Whether or not you're together with them, that doesn't matter.
Nope.
You just need to connect. And that's a piece of I like to say, when spirit works with me, it's like this is a set of stairs you're climbing.
Yes.
That's one of the important steps, is to know who your twin flame is.
Yes.
And yeah,
And it's because of the parallel journey. It's because of the lessons that you're learning. There is a common belief, and I'm not going to say it's a wrong belief or a misconception, because I don't believe that. I think it's just different. But the belief is that it's your one true love. It's the person you're supposed to be with. That's it. It's the classic Disney ending when you find your twin flame. The situation with that is that the whole point of the twin flame relationship is not love. It's born from love because it's divine love. But the purpose is soul evolution. So if you're in a relationship with someone you believe is your twin flame, just because you believe that they're your twin flame and it's not working for you, then you're not. You know, it's not a real, true, valid relationship. And I had someone say to me the other day, "It's like, okay, well, it's easy for you because yours is on the other side." I'm like, have you ever been a medium who can connect with somebody on the other side, and all they want to do is tell you about, you know, how you learn your lessons and what you're doing 24/7? I mean, it's not easy, you know? And but it's important to know that it's not it's not an easy path, but it's a beautiful path, because you're both evolving together. And eventually, I don't know that the soul ever reaches the maximum amount of evolution. I don't know that that's possible, because we are constantly learning and we're constantly growing. But when you reach that moment that you get to share your journey, then you're just like, wow, I've done all this. We've done all this, and we've come here. And I think that's where we're at now, you know, on my own personal, our journey, mine and Chico's, is that now all this arguing I did and all this disbelieving I did, now we just get to sit back and go, wait a minute. We did that for a reason. We had to go through that because we both evolved. So, you know, I think that that's a beautiful thing. And I think you're absolutely right. It is a necessary step. Now, whether it's learning names, learning who you were in a past life, yes, that can all happen. It's possible to find out the name of your twin flame right now in existence via your own Akashic record. It can happen.
right. And your relationship with your twin flame, as you just were ensuing, does not have to be romantic.
I mean, I'm not saying it won't. It is never, because that's not true. Because
Right, right.
I have met so many people who are blessed to be able to have a relationship, maybe not necessarily a love relationship, but a relationship with their twin on Earth. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's you know, and I give you a lot of examples of folks that I met in my book. Like, for, you know, it's a roller coaster. It's an up and down thing, because there's a lot of evolution going on. Every turn, every up, every down, it has a lesson. And 9 times out of 10, you're not thinking about it when you're going through it. You're just thinking, gosh, this is crap. What's going on, you know? But when you come out on the other side, it is just such a beautiful thing. And I think that's what kind of drives the theory behind the whole one true love, is because it's that divine connection, to know that this soul is the only soul in the entirety of God's creation that has the same exact soul blueprint and the same spiritual DNA as you do. I mean,
That's
you can have
beautiful.
so many other soulmates in the universe. Soulmates and twin flames are not the same. Like, you and I could be.
Could you explain the difference while you're talking about it?
Sure. Soulmate, like I said, you can have many of them. You can have billions of soulmates that, you know, kind of orbit you in your soul, in your personal soul leavers, is what I call it. And their point and purpose is to assist you on your path, and you assist them on their path. It's just, you know, it's a give and take relationship. The twin flame relationship, you only have one. I know there are multiple theories about that, but in my experience, you only have one. And it creates lasting change. And that like makes the soul learn and evolve. Can a soulmate do that? Well, not on the same level, no, because they can create change, but most of the time they're just kind of helping you clean it up. You know, they're kind of helping you clean up the mess and vice versa. So, but a twin flame creates real soul change. Kind of like the
Awesome.
difference between putting on just, a different change of outfit and, like, I don't know, dyeing your hair blonde. It's completely different things, but terrible, terrible analogy, but it's kind of the same. Because if I dyed my hair blonde, it would definitely create a whole bunch of change,
Right.
Um,
But it's external change. It's not internal. It's not that depth of change.
for a soulmate, that's correct. For
Yeah.
a twin flame, it starts at the soul. You can't get more internal than that. And
Right.
works its way out eventually, but it starts at the soul because that's the whole point. The soul is growing and learning and evolving from the benefit of being connected to its other part, other half.
Right.
And that connection exists at the beginning of the soul's existence, not the incarnation, but the moment that the soul is created by God or higher being, whomever you choose to put your faith and belief in.
Yeah.
The moment that soul is created and it is separated into two complete souls, that bond between them exists. So a twin flame can't incarnate into a lifetime and not be your twin flame.
It's a eternity, for eternity.
You're always connected, always, throughout all space and time. So, it's an amazing thing. And I think people just really want to have that connection, but what they don't understand is they already have it.
Well,
You just have to do it.
yep. And there's a lot of people who aren't fully awake on the planet, and maybe they're with a twin flame and they have no clue.
Yeah.
Those of us clearly who are present here, listening to you talk here, Leslie, we're all awake spiritually.
Mhm.
And some of us know our twin flame is around us. Other of us are wanting to understand more about it because it could happen at any time when we least expect it. But it's a very important issue to talk about here.
And just piggybacking on something you just said, part of my intention is to empower people to draw their twin flame closer, to kind of get rid of that, oh, it'll happen soon, or I'm waiting for, or I'm looking for, because there's a lot of not good energy that surrounds the whole I'm looking for at all costs, I need my twin flame thing. And instead of that, let's feed into okay, I empower myself to just kind of tug on that cord that connects me and my twin, and come on as close as you feel like it. Because you also have to honor their free will, But
Yes.
you can just say, you know what, I need you. They're never going to, energetically and on a soul level, they're never going to say no. Ever.
Awesome.
That's your match. Now, on a conscious level, if you're someone like myself, who was a total skeptic, it might be a little bit more difficult on the conscious side. But on a soul level, just tug on that cord and say, you know what, I need you. And most of the time when you're learning about twin flames, and I've discovered this just through a lot of folks, even myself, when you're learning about twin flames and when you're reading about them and you're drawn to them, it's a sign. They're drawing you closer. You're drawing them closer. You are taking that step to bring yourself closer to one another. And I actually have encountered couples who literally have met their twin flame, and was awesome. I love this story. I tell it all the time. who they were in a bookstore. Remember when those existed? You know,
Yeah.
they were in, I think it was like Borders or something like that. And they were in a bookstore in the metaphysical aisle looking for information about twin flames. And it turns out the more that they talked, the more that they connected. A couple years later down the line, they start learning about stuff, and we meet, and boom, we start working on it. Turns out, yeah, they're twin flames. So they literally drew each other together that way. I mean, what a meet cute, right? You know, I mean, how do
Awesome.
you do that? But, you know, anyway, not to ramble, but
Awesome.
I just want to empower people to kind of, you know, tell them that's tree. It's okay.
Awesome. Can we do some questions? I know there's a number of people here who probably have questions. And what I'd like to say is for people to put their hand up, and Leslie can acknowledge you, and if you, and then you would unmute your mic, okay? Don't be
Hey.
shy, everyone. I know. Go ahead. Do you have something else to say, Leslie?
I was just gonna say, bear with me because I'm doing it from my phone and it looks different than when it's on my computer. So I'll get
Well,
you.
you look fine, sweetheart. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm opening up the floor. So
Anybody?
yeah, just let me know. I'll try to reach you.
Wow. Everybody's okay. Terry.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead, and because I can't actually see your hands on my phone for some reason. I'm so sorry about that.
Hi, Leslie. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you. I really enjoyed that. My question is could your plane be right beside you? And is there a way that like somebody like you or like Pamela can validate that they're your twin flames?
The answer is yes. However, if you were to ask myself, I would probably, if we're talking about someone who's on the other side, I would let them spirit validate it. I would say, you know, I would just go into the reading with a, hi, my name's Leslie, I'm open, and let the medium divine from spirit and do the work. Can someone actually tell you who your twin flame is? Yeah, they can. And a lot of people practice doing that. But I always tell people, don't let somebody else tell you, because I don't want you to ignore your feelings. So if you feel that someone has that connection with you, never let anyone tell you that's not true and not right and not valid.
But there is a way for you to validate it. Like if I think somebody's on this earth with me, that's my twin flame.
Yes.
Can you validate that when both flames are still developing?
Yes, you can. And the reason and how you can do that, you can actually do that several different ways. But the easiest way is to feel that heart center right in your heart chakra, in the center of your chest. There is an energetic cord that connects you and your twin flame. And feel it. And just close your eyes and sit there and feel that energy. And if you can feel into it, you can see into it, and feel where it goes. If you are literally drawn to this other person, the answer is yes. It's sort of like a pendulum a little bit, but not exactly, because that connection is there. It is real, it is valid. And that's the easiest way to do it. I give you a lot of other ways to do it in the book. I really do. A lot of different methods, a lot of different other ways, but that to me is the easiest method. You know, some people can feel it. Some people can actually see it in their mind's eye. But if I were to do it for you, that's what I would do. I would look into that heart center. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Leslie, what are the methods in your book, please? Can you list some of them or all of them so people know what you have there?
Let me do this now. Astrology, easy twin flame astrology. You don't have to be an astrology expert at all. Numerology, genealogy, ancestry. Let's see what else. The physical methods. We've got Akashic records, we've got mediumship, we've got self-mediumship, like automatic writing, we've got meditation, we've got journeying, we've got, see, I think I said the Akashic record, past life regressions, we've got how to mediumship, both self and how to go in and sit with a psychic and a medium. Spirit drawings, both done by spirit and not, that, like, like Rita does. We've got, oh, Lord, we've got so many more. Let's see what else. I think that's all I can, like, oh, I know it's terrible, but that's all that comes to my mind right now. But
That's fine.
I know there's a lot more. So, but each one of them breaks down how you can use it. If you feel comfortable. Some people might not feel comfortable with, automatic writing, for example, which is literally just letting go, being in the moment, kind of putting yourself in a quiet mindset and letting spirit either write through you or type through you. Some people might not be comfortable with that. So I give you different ways. We do sign, I call it signology, but it's basically divining signs from your twin flame, whether or not they're on the other side or on here on Earth. When you communicate with your twin flame here on Earth, we're talking about their higher self. And the higher self is, in my mind, the higher self is the part of us that's got one foot in the physical and one foot in the metaphysical, because they are responsible. The higher self channels all the information from both sides, from the physicality and from the other side. It works very close in tandem with the soul. And so that's a good way to find out if your twin is here on Earth, is to try to connect with the higher self. And if you get the higher self, then if you get spirit, then you're like, oh, you're on the other side. Okay, great. Anyway, so there's so many, oh my goodness, there's so many.
Something that you mentioned in the book, you spoke about how often there are similarities that can be recognized between one twin flame and another. Dates, numbers, personality traits. I mean, there were so many. It was such a list there, and those are a lot to me are a lot easier than the numerology was like, okay, I get this, but it's tricky, but yeah, those are great.
It was I was really ecstatic in working with different modalities, because I'm going to tell you, when I first started astrology, when I first started learning that, it went literally right over my head. I was like, what? Why? And then there's actually a specific, I'm going to call it branch, but that's not the correct word, branch of astrology that is called twin flame numerology. And
Really?
that's where my brain went. And I went, wait a minute, hold on. Twin flames, no matter what, will incarnate with visible similarities, because they can't be different on a soul level, because they equal each other. They're the exact same. So why do I need to know opposites? And why do I need to know this? And wait a minute, hold on. I need to know this information because, astrology. But to prove the twin flame relationship, all I need to know about astrology is our birth charts. The birth chart only counts for Chico for the amount of time he was here, obviously.
Right.
And what's similar about them? Okay, he and I had the same birth sign. He and I have the, compatible rising signs. Every single one of our houses are the same. Our birth chart is so similar that you would think we were the same person. I was like, wow.
Okay.
And does that mean that if there aren't that many similarities, that they're not twin flames? No, it just means there's a little bit more of work to do. Each modality is a puzzle piece, and when you put it all together, boom, there is your evidence. I have so much evidence. I have books full of evidence, but I realized it's great, it's beautiful to know something as astrology so intimately. And I have respect for those people who do that every day. But when it comes to twin flames, it's not necessary to dive into the deep end of the pool. It's evident right there on the cover of the book.
Awesome. See, this is some of what I wanted to put out for people to listen here. Understand that they can track their twin flame themselves.
Can, absolutely.
And
100%.
it's simple, and it's very simple.
I think a lot of people, not meaning to, of course, a lot of people just make it too hard. You know, like, this is how you must do it, and this is how it will be done. Well, says you, you know, wait a minute, what if that doesn't work for myself and my twin? No, you know,
Something else
so,
will then. Yeah.
yeah, so it gives you examples of how to use these things. Now, let's just say somebody, you know, gets to the chapter on pendulums and spirit boards, and they're like, I don't vibe with that. Great, skip. Does that take away from the evidence that they're building to find their twin flame? No, that simply just means that doesn't work for me. Whereas other people might go, oh no, you have to do that. You know what I mean? And so I'm giving you your choices. I'm giving you your options, because that's how it was presented to me ultimately by spirit.
Good.
So
Good.
I hope people.
Good. Thank you, Leslie. Anybody else? More questions, please? Claire Ann, unmute yourself, please. You just muted yourself. You're unmuted. Got ya.
I don't know. This is just kind of curious. As I'm watching Leslie, I'm noticing some of the things on the wall behind you.
Oh, yeah.
And I keep being drawn to the, I can't tell if it's a man or a woman, but with the green on your other side.
Up there?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll show you what it is. Just 1 second.
Look, Pamela.
Uh-huh. Yep. Hang on.
This one?
Yep. Who is it?
This is Archangel Raphael,
Okay.
as drawn by a friend of mine, or painted, I should say. This
Can
is
you see-
how she saw him, but oh my goodness. Wow.
Claire Ann, you want to introduce who that picture is for those who don't know?
Leslie, this is my 22-year-old son that passed in 2007.
Bless your heart. He's beautiful.
Thank you. I kept looking at that and I thought it looks a lot like Graham, who I believe is
Wow.
my twin flame.
I could understand that. I could understand that absolutely. And this is so amazing. Look at this.
Isn't it? I kept looking. I couldn't make it out totally, but I just felt drawn to that.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you would like, I could send you a picture of it and you can keep a picture if you'd like. But this was my friend Nikki's interpretation of Archangel Raphael, and my
The
goodness,
angel of healing. Yeah.
yeah, does he look like your son? My goodness.
See, that must mean something.
I would
Yes.
say so. I would say so. You got any
Ooh.
questions for her, Claire Ann? Well, you've got her attention.
When she said, you can always bring your twin flame in because you're connected at the heart and pull on that heartstring, and I just almost started to cry.
Oh, bless you. And you can actually do that with at any time. It doesn't have to, that cord there at your heart, I see as the twin flame, but there's also that heart chakra vibration that connects you with the other side as well. So it's, you don't need, I can see him plain as day. You don't need to bring him close, bless your heart. He is there. But he's just beautiful. And and please do, if you would like a copy of this picture, just please do reach out and I'll be happy to give you a copy. It's no problem at all. Because she drew this in, let me see if there's a date. There's no date, but I do know. Oh, wait a minute, 2013. That's when she painted this. So
Isn't that curious? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is curious too. So this is Graham's thumbprint, and I always wear it on a long chain under my clothes. And last week, I was sitting on the sofa, and I was like, "Where's my necklace?" And it was really kind of upsetting because I've worn it. Yeah, I only take it off when I take a shower, and I still can't explain this. I just started looking around, and when I went up to my bedroom, the thumbprint was on the carpet right next to my side of the bed. I have no idea where the long chain is. I still have not found the chain, but the thumbprint was there right next to my side of the bed.
wow.
It's a week later, I vacuumed, everything. Where's the chain?
I wish I could tell you. I'm
But
not
what
sure.
was important, of course, was the thumbprint.
Awesome.
That's, oh my gosh, I have chills. That is so beautiful though. Wow, I have chills. That's amazing. Probably not the forum to give messages, but I'm sure that your son had something to do with it. I have no doubt in my mind.
This is crazy.
Clarianne, those are some wonderful stories. You always have some great stories in regards to Graham all these years. Thank you for sharing those.
Thank you, Leslie.
Yes, no,
Awesome.
thank you. I
Awesome.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone
Oh, and
else?
it's all hard to find information about twin flames. There's not a lot out there. And you're right that most people, if they hear twin flames, just think it's some big romantic thing and they don't really understand. But it's hard to find things about it.
Well, I hope that perhaps maybe my research can help you out.
Yeah,
Please
I'd
let me
like
know. I would love to hear.
to look into it.
Thank you.
Denise, you had your hand up, hon?
Okay. The Gashi records that Leslie was talking about, I'm trying to look them up. What are you talking about? I know here it says, go ahead, tell me.
It's the Akashic Records, AKASHIC, Akashic Records.
Okay, there it is.
And it is actually I call it the house of soul history. It houses every single thing that has happened to your soul since it was created.
Wow. I
And
just brought it up, so.
yeah, shameless plug. If you go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, you actually get a free ebook about the Akashic Records, complete with how to open your own. So,
Okay.
so if you would love to check that out, but that's basically what it is. It's just the history of your soul and every soul ever created. And that's how it's the source of truth when it comes to learning about your own twin flame.
Interesting, thank you.
You're
Awesome.
welcome.
Thank you, Denise. Okay, I know there's other people here who believe that who know they have their twin flames around, and I also wonder other people who I'm seeing here tonight who are very interested in this, maybe think they have and want to ask Leslie a question. Come on, we've got her right here in front of us.
I don't bite.
Juna Lane, dear. You put up your wonderful picture with the he and she.
Yes, am I making any noise now?
You're
I
not
love
too.
that picture.
Yep, you're not too bad. The background noise is a bit quiet, please. You have an opportunity to speak with Leslie. Please take it.
Can I bring her home with me?
Oh, bless you.
Well,
would
Jerry
love
is
to.
here with me right now. My twin flame is here. I am an evidential medium, Leslie,
Mhm.
and animal communicator, and Jerry passed 11 years ago from cancer. And about a month after he passed, he started doing this communication with me and teaching me that I had gifts, and he's been with me since. And apparently, we've been together forever that I know of. Twin flame relationship.
Yeah, it makes
Wow.
so much sense. Yeah.
It's a little different than I'm listening to tonight. Our situation, we're not part. Okay, he's saying the best way to say this is twin flames don't like to be apart.
That is true.
We do not like being apart. So we were married 30 years when he passed, and we're still married. We're still having pillow talk. He said, "Thank you, Jerry. That's cute." We still have happy hour every night. We talk about the business. We talk about everything other husbands and wives talk about. That's our relationship. Yes, and it does happen to be a love relationship. Yes, it is.
It's beautiful. It is
A
beautiful.
love. He said it's a love story.
Yes.
I'm thrilled Jerry's with you here right now, June. I'm thrilled. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all. I don't really have any questions. I'm just observing. I like to hear the others. I like to hear others, what they have to say. I already know about Graham. I think Graham is the one that told me to make sure that I told his mom he was her twin flame. I'd like to hear from this gentleman. For some reason, I keep going back to him, Bernard or Barnett.
Barney. Yeah.
There's something about him that I'm feeling, and
Yeah, Barney's another medium, and yep, and hopefully he'll have something to say here. Barney, how are you tonight, dear?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. I'm glad you came in. Can you do you have your twin flame in your life?
I hate to admit it, but the concept is somewhat new to me, so I'm sitting here digesting.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
lot at first. I totally understand.
can I
Okay.
say one more thing and then I'm done?
Go ahead, June.
Okay, Barney. One of the things that Jerry's saying to give to you is a gift from him tonight. You'll know her by her eyes, and eventually, if not already, her kiss and her touch. You won't even have to touch your twin flame. You could be at an airport sitting somewhere, and all of a sudden somebody sits down next to you or near you, and you can feel her. You'll just feel. You don't have to touch each other. That's the constant thing I feel with Jerry every day. I can feel him, sense him. Yeah, he said yes. And his favorite part is he smells my cooking. He loves food and talks about cooking. But yeah, those of you that's, I
Thank
just
you,
wonder,
June.
do you
It's
think
so
you've met
beautiful.
your twin, Barnett?
Thank you.
Barney,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, June. Thank you, Jerry. We're both together.
Yeah, thank you for that. I know the message was not for me, but it's so beautiful to hear such a loving testimony of the twin flame relationship. And I love and adore and appreciate it so much. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Anybody else with a question? I'd like to pick a couple people out of the group, but I don't want to put you on the spot either. But everybody who's here for a reason. You wanted to learn more about twin flames to find out if they're in your life, or you wanted validation that who you think is a twin flame is truly one.
I guess we can mention the difference between a true twin flame and a false twin flame.
Okay, that's an interesting concept, please.
We do talk about that because that just got me thinking when you said that. We
Okay.
do talk about that in the book. And like I said, a twin flame will come in and cause that change, that soul change, that change from within all the way out. that usually it's usually rooted in a little bit of chaos because it can't be helped. False twin flame has everything you think you should have in a twin flame. Almost. There's one thing that's almost not there. Almost, I wish this person was more. I wish this happened in our relationship. Oh, I wish I had that. Because I'm going to tell you, the twin flame relationship, it's divine, it's divinity. There shouldn't be anything lacking in it, okay? Other than obviously, you know, you're learning lessons and that's not fun always. But the false one, almost. And usually that almost centers around some sort of falsehood. Example, abusive relationships.
Ooh.
Of any kind, whether it's, you know, verbal, physical, sexual, that cannot in any way be a valid, real, true twin flame relationship, because twin flames wouldn't do that to each other. You just wouldn't. Why would you do that? It's like kicking yourself when you're down, sort of on an energetic soul level. So something like that, where it's a, you know, or if there's something that on a fundamental level you can't vibe with your partner, like not necessarily religious practices, but something that is incredibly important to you on such a personal level, that, you know, if you were with your twin flame, a real, true, valid relationship, your twin would recognize that. Whether or not I mean, they would probably agree with you. Whether or not they would say that, it's dependent on the relationship. But a false twin flame would be like, it's so important to you. Why is this important to you? Twin flames get it. It's almost kind of like there's a psychic connection between the two, where you don't even have to explain to them why it's important to you. They just get it. So if there's something lacking, or if there's a difference of opinion that is frustrating, then these are just examples. There's something lacking. If there's an almost in your twin flame relationship, it is not your twin flame. No matter how long you've been together, no matter what you think, no. Especially if there's some kind of element of abuse in the relationship, because I have met so many people who believed that they were with their twin flame, who they ended up being, you know, in shelters because they were abused, or homeless because, you know, their twin flame kicked them out, and they just kept putting up with the cycle of abuse, because this is, you know, they thought, this is my twin flame, I'm supposed to be with this person. So we need to change that mindset and help people understand that the twin flame relationship is not supposed to be hurtful. It comes from divinity. Does it mean you're going to learn and grow and evolve? Yeah, that's not always fun, but it's not designed to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. So I think it's important to make that distinction, because a lot of people just don't recognize that. They think they're supposed to stay with whom they believe their twin flame is, regardless of what it is. And if there's something lacking, or that something that's violating in the relationship, it's just not real. It's sad, but it's not
Awesome,
real.
Leslie. Leslie,
Yes.
that is awesome. Thank you for, also, you just reminded me that unconditional love
Yes.
is what this relationship is about, twin flame relationship. They would never hurt you, ever.
Thank
Never.
you, June. June, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions among the group? Do I pick any? I've got somebody I'd like to pick out of the group, but do I dare do that?
I'm willing. You are.
Sherry, do you have a question, sweetheart?